Uh, it's a big problem, and I feel like it's come back because organized crime are detective investigators and undercovers. I worked in OCCB as an undercover for 5 years. Remind me to talk about the politics of that too. But right now, we are so short in police officers, right? I think when I retired, we had 40,000 police officers in the NYPD. Right now, they're saying that we're down to 35,000 police officers. But I heard from a colleague who's still on the job that the real number is about 25,000. And that's concerning because we can't get police officers, right? We heard about the mass migration of police officers retiring or going to other police departments. And of course, this stems from defund the police, right? Police officers weren't getting the support from the community. They were all being targeted, even the good police officers, sadly. I mean, I can see the anger from the community. It's justified, but their sights were set on the wrong police officers. We can't think all police officers are corrupt because many of them, 99% of them, are doing the job to the best of their ability, and we're sadly painted with the same brush. And morale is an all-time low, I think, and police officers are many of them are retiring if they can, if they have, if they've done their 20 years. Actually, now they change it to 22 and a half. So if they reach that milestone, many of them are leaving and perhaps going to other police departments. So right now, because we're understaffed, many of our investigative functions are suffering because, like, I have a friend right now, he's a detective, but because of the shortage of police officers, he can't conduct his investigation, so he's on patrol. So they're putting him wherever the crime spike is happening, wherever the shootings are happening, wherever the violence. So we're dealing with street crime, not investigative crimes, right? We're doing street crime, shootings, muggings, robberies, assaults. So he is being deployed, and many of my other colleagues are being deployed in the different boroughs, and it's not the nice areas, right? It's going to be the areas where crime is spiking. So because of that, undercovers are not able to do their work. Investigators are not able to do their work. Recently, we saw in Washington Square Park where drug dealing is just open air drug dealing, right? Because there's no fear. There's no more detectives. There's no undercovers. We see on Roosevelt Avenue, if you're from, I don't know if your people are familiar, your audience, Roosevelt Avenue in Queens is now overwhelmed with street prostitution, right? Um, and I know people will say that, they're just sex workers, they're just trying to do, support themselves. I understand that. I totally understand that. But many of these sex workers are also being abused. They're being trafficked. They're paying. They're like indentured servants. They're paying off their travel to come to the United States. So they're being. They are also victims. They probably don't want to be sex workers. So all this is happening right now. It's out of control. As an undercover, when I was in the 90s and in the 2000s, I feel proud that we cleaned up, the prostitution area, the sex worker, got them the help that they needed, got them off the street, and it's back in full swing. So, open drug deals, prostitution. My concern is it's just gonna hurt our the community. It's gonna, they're just walking around, and young people are seeing this. Kids are seeing this like it's the norm. It shouldn't be. And again, we're just suffering a lot, and that's New York City, right? We are a fairly large department with a large um, base of police officers. I can only imagine what's happening in smaller agencies when they don't have it, and they don't have, I'm in Pennsylvania, and some of our police departments are like two, 3 man police departments. How are you gonna, police a community with only 2, 3 police officers? So it's concerning that investigative units are suffering, and apply that to the bigger picture, the whole nation, and I feel like it's going to be something that will reflect badly. And additionally, we can't recruit police officers. So, Melvin, when I came on, my academy class was like 2,100 candidates. Right now, they're struggling to put 300, 400 police officers, right? So that means they're basically scraping the bottom of the barrel, right? The more qualified candidates are not applying, and they might be overlooking certain things in the background when they're doing background investigations on these candidates. They might be overlooking certain things, and I hate to say that lesser qualified candidates might be coming into policing, and I think that we will see that, um, you know, in like 5 years, we'll probably see a lot of corruption. I hate to be Kreskin and predict this, but we'll probably see more corruption because we're getting less qualified police officers.